Hello and welcome, it's Crafty Carol with another couple of little projects for you. And I've used here the Thoughtful Expressions set. It's just the most beautiful set. And although it has dies matching it, and I did use those, I will use those in the project as you'll see, I actually am using as well the Everyday Details dies. These are a super set of dies, just separate dies, and they don't match a particular theme or a particular stamp set, but they're beautiful. They cut out these gorgeous holes and the various patterns. So you've got circular in these sort of strips, then you've got this lovely crisscross strip and these rectangles, which is what I'm going to use in the projects today. So the paper I've used is this beautiful one from this Nature Sweetness set, which is part of the Thoughtful Expressions. The Thoughtful Expressions is part of that suite, shall I say. So this is, I don't know if you can see it, it's just beautiful. There's so many gorgeous gold papers, and this is the one with the words on it, and I've used that because it's just lovely. And I have already prepared a lot of the stuff. So for this first card, I'm using Very Vanilla as the base for my card because I just think it matches really nicely, and it matches what I wanted to do with the gold, because I wanted to use from because there's gold in the DSP, I really wanted to bring that out. So I've got, this is the ordinary base, which is 21 by 14.8, scored at 10.5, or trying to remember the American sizes, and I can't, but they'll be in my blog, so go in there. I have put both sets of sizes in the blog. And I have used the DSP, I think it's something like 4 and, is it 8.5? 8.5, I think it is, by 5.25, scored at 4.25, I think, for the American size. Please check that in the blog to make sure it's right. Then I've cut a piece of DSP for the front. And this piece of DSP is 10.1 by 14.4. So I've made just a very, very narrow border around it here. So as you can see, just a couple of millimeters each way. And for the American size, that would be 4 by 5.25 inches. I am sure about that because I checked that. And then I also want a piece of Pebbled Path, which is 6 by 9.9 centimetres, or 2 3/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches. I need a scrap of Pebbled Path, and then I have my bird. And I've already prepared this, and the sentiment, actually. I've been very, very prepared because you don't really want to see me doing all of this. And you know about embossing. All I've done is I have used the bird stamp from the set, this gorgeous, I think it's a hummingbird. I'm not very good on birds, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. But this beautiful bird from the set, and all I've done is used my embossing buddy on a scrap of Very Vanilla, stamped it in Versamarked, and then embossed it with gold embossing powder, and then used the dies, the Thoughtful Expression dies, to cut it out. So I want to make a little frame for this, and I want it to stand out, so I'm going to stick it on here. And I could just use layers, I could just use those, but I don't want to. However, I do want to just use, oh dear, can't get it out. Want to use this little die here. Oh, and I'm really struggling with blocks, to be honest, and have to put it on a bigger block. It's because I've got another project set up on my other blocks. I'll put it on this one. So all I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to emboss this on gold, but on Pebbled Path this time, not on Very Vanilla, because I want the hummingbird to be sniffing out of a sniffing. I don't know, what do they do? What do hummingbirds do? I haven't a clue. They drink the nectar or sniff it out or something with their beaks anyway. Poke it out with their beaks, I don't know. Using my embossing buddy because I'm embossing. Always do that because you want to take any grease off the card. Oh, what do hummingbirds do? I need to know. Never mind. Right, so I want to use my Versamark. So I'm just going to Versamark up the stamp and then stamp it on here. There we go. You probably can't see that too much, but it is there. And then I will get my gold embossing powder. There's quite a lot of embossing in this card, which is why I wasn't going to bore you with it all on the video. So you know, I've mentioned before that I use these old Chinese containers, very well cleaned, I have to say, and put my embossing powder in those because it makes it slightly less messy, although I still do manage to get a few specks all over everything. So there is my image, and now we need the heat gun for the magic to happen. I will never ever tire of this. I love it. So just make sure it's nice and hot before I take it to the image. I don't want to make it, and I'll try and get it so the camera picks up the image going, because it's the beautiful bit of embossing. Hopefully you can see that. So there we have the flower just embossed there, and I've blown my sentiment off. What I've done is I've already done a sentiment, and the one I've used is actually, I've used the Thinking of You, which I've used, it's from the Go to Greeting set, my perfect one. So I'm going to go and use the Thoughtful Expressions dies to cut that out, and then we'll put the card together. But while I'm doing my cutting, the other thing I want to do is I want to use my Everyday Details frame, and I want the biggest of these. Oh, let's get it out without hooking it around all the others. There we go. Once you've taken them off, they don't ever seem to stick terribly well. So you can see that these dies aren't all separate. This cuts an outer edge and an inner edge. So I'm going to cut an outer edge from my piece of DSP. And this is why I've got this second piece of DSP, which you'll see I have cut so that it just fits inside the holes. That's the size I gave you. It's the 6 by 9.9, 2 3/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches. So that'll provide a background for my bird, because I don't want it just on the hole that'll be left here on there, because it doesn't stand out enough. So that's what that piece is for. So I shall be back in a second, having die cut these two pieces. Okay, here I am back again, and here is my cutout flower. And you can see these are the Thoughtful Expressions dies, so they cut out all of the images on the stamp set. And you also have these two super sets of frames. I used this frame on last Tuesday for my live, so have a look at that one if you want to see how I use that. Okay, so here are my pieces. So as you can see, this die cuts out two sets of pieces, an outside one and an inside one. So I'm going to keep that. I didn't want to put my bird on that because it loses a bit against here and it's too similar to my frame, but I will keep that for another project. So we're going to put this together, and this piece here will just fit around the edge of there. So I'm going to be very, very careful. Put just a tiny bit of glue because I want it behind this frame. So I'm going to put the tiniest bit of glue around there. The beauty of our Tombow is it is quite, you can use it to do really quite fine bits. If I could find my fine tip glue pen, I could use that, but I can't find it. Just looked for it before, I didn't have much time to do it. So that just fits in there. So I want to make sure it's not covering up any holes. Lovely. And then I can stick the whole thing on the front of the card. Now I cut out the frame just towards the top of the, or more towards the top than the bottom, because I wanted, try and get that straight, that's better, because I want to have room for my greeting at the bottom. So there we have, just stick down on there please. There we have my frame. So you can see I've got my very vanilla shining through the holes, which I liked, and then I'm going to stick my bird on there, and he's going to be sniffing from the flower, which is going to be over here, and I'm going to put those on with dimensionals. Oh, I've just got the end of a little bit of dimensional pack, but it's okay because I can use these bits, which is fine. Always use the end of every single bit of dimensional pack. You paid for it all, you might as well use it all. Don't ever throw away these bits because they're always useful. And I can use some of the tiny bits at the edge because I want to stick the sentiment at the bottom on there. So I've just used Thinking for You. Obviously this could be a birthday card. It might make a nice male birthday card, or it might be for a sympathy card, or you know, it would almost suit any occasion, this card, and I like cards like that. So I shall have my flower just here, I think. And then my hummingbird just coming down, sucking the nectar from the centre of the flower, just like that. And finally, my Thinking of You. I was going to put it here, but actually I think I might put it here. No, it's too much, the Pebbled Path on Pebbled Path. I'm going to have it down here. There we go. So I hope the light is doing this card justice and that you can see all the glorious gold on it. But that is my little, I hope it's a hummingbird. It's a beautiful bird that's suckling the nectar out of the flower. I hope you like the card. And if you go to my blog, I'll do something inside as well soon. And if you go to my blog, you'll see a second card that I did with this. I'm going to show you it very briefly now, but I won't give you all the measurements. They will be on the blog. And this one, put that to one side. Ooh, bits there. This one again, I've done most of the preparation for. So this time I've made another Thinking of You card. So again, I've just embossed Thinking of You on Pebbled Path. I've embossed the big flower from the set, the Thoughtful Expression set, and I've already cut out, again, this time I'm making this card a landscape card, so I've cut out my frame from the centre. So I'm going to stick this bit down first. So all the measurements for this card are in the blog. It's just a landscape version of the one I've just given you, so actually you can use the measurements I've just given you a bit. I'll try and remember to give you the other measurements for the other bits as I put them on. So first of all, I got my frame. So I've cut this out again using the largest of the dies, but this time I'm using both pieces. So I've got this piece and this piece, which will go back in. So I'm not going to see this bit of the frame, which is a bit sad in a way, but it's because I wanted to just jazz this up a little bit, and it'll make the most of this piece in the middle, which if I left it just in the frame, isn't going to look very good. I needed some other layers. So I've just used some gold foil. I'm running out of gold foil. I really must buy some more. So that covers up the frame underneath, but that's okay. And then we're going to put a Pebbled Path layer on. You may not want to put this layer on. You may want to just put the DSP back on the gold, to be honest. But these pieces, the gold I cut at 7.4 centimetres by 11.3, and this piece 7.2 by 11.1. So I've only got a very narrow border around the edge, which is what I wanted. And then I'm going to stick this piece on the middle here. So this is the piece that was cut out of the centre of the DSP. So I'm not wasting any DSP. I'm just going to put the glue in the middle bit of it because I'm not too bothered if the edges come up slightly. So this will sit in the centre here. There we go. And then I can use my bits of, I'm going to have to get some more dimensionals here. I'll get some mini ones out for the sentiment, I think, because that would be much better. Okay, I do apologise about that. A call came in and stopped the video before I'd finished filming. But all I've done here is I've stuck my flower in the centre there and put two of the little mini dimensionals on the sentiment and put it at the bottom. So that is the finished card. Here is the other one. So these are the two I've made today. I do hope that you enjoy these cards, and I hope you have a go at making something similar. I think these frames are just beautiful. You can do so much with them. And I will see you again soon. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. And all the information is on for the cards, and the measurements again are on my blog at craftycarolscards.co.uk. And I will see you again soon. Bye for now.